Hello, I'm Christopher Bayliss from Fast Growth Online. Thank you for downloading the Fast Growth workbook entitled Successfully Implement Your Key Projects. Today I'm at the offices of Picture My Story here in Bournemouth on the south coast of England, and I'm with David Ralph, who's the Managing Director. Welcome, David. Thank you for your time.
Christopher.
Thank you for your time. Before we start, can you just give us a very brief overview of what Picture My Story does?
It transforms the way children's writing is taught and learnt around the world. And it does this really by providing a scaffolding so that when they tell a story, they can provide punctuation so that when they finish the story, all the punctuation is there and they can transcribe it with ease and confidence.
This particular workbook is about successfully implementing projects. And last week you downloaded this workbook, like our viewers have done. How did you get on with it?
Yes, I found it fascinating. It really helped me coalesce my thoughts. I've got a major project trying to launch this new product, and I was having problems really putting it together, and it just helped me put all the logical order of things went through and the critical path.
We'll talk a bit more about some of these projects later on under the hints, but before we do, we're just going to put the thing in context and to focus on why successfully implementing key projects is so important. David, can you think of an international company that you admire in terms of successful implementation of projects?
Well, I guess one I've always admired is Honda. Well, all the Japanese, but particularly Honda. They get their projects on time, and of course, if they don't get them on time, then there's big problems. But they've always had good on-time projects and exceptional quality.
Yes, another example, David, is Boeing, the aircraft company in America. Over the years, from the 707, the 777, the 747 jumbo airliner, they've got these projects out, fiendishly expensive projects on time to meet the demanding timescales of airlines. And in fact, they were so good at it that Ford worldwide, recruited their chief executive, Alan McNally, a few years ago to come into Ford to help them get their projects done faster.
Really?
Yeah, he's left them now because he's retired. But the Fords have been transformed through better projects. Great. It's such an important topic, this. This workbook will really help you in this area. If you get a chance, I would definitely recommend you also buy this book called Fast Growth Projects, and where it says Project Management When Time is Short. Is it ever short? Is it any ever less than that? By Fergus O'Connell. Really, really easy to use book which complements very much this workbook. Okay, so that's the context, why it's important, and some examples, and I'm glad you found it really helpful. Before we focus on 3 hints on using this workbook, could I ask you to read the focus and purpose, please, David?
Yes. To successfully implement your key projects. The purpose of this workbook is to assist you to successfully implement your next project in your company. The goal is that you implement your future projects on time, to budget, and that these successful projects substantially increase your company performance and growth.
And we've heard from Honda and Boeing how that's actually happened. This particular workbook focuses on your next project, but then to make that a way of life in your company and use this workbook.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so thanks for sharing that with me. I'm going to skip page 1. If you turn to page 2, David, and what we're saying is at the start of every project, develop the habit of scoping the project. And there's a 1-page plan to do that. Starting at the top, what's the title of the project? Who's going to manage it? Now, if it's a very small company, still have a manager. It may be, the business leader of a single person company, but have a manager. What's the start date? What's the finish date? And then define your SMART goals for your project. Can you just read what SMART means at the bottom of the page there?
Yes, SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound.
Okay. And then identify the project constraints. All projects have constraints. Agree your budget. None of us have got bottomless pots of money, and so forth. Really simple one-pager to scope it out. You actually used this, I can see, last week to scope out one of your next projects. What was the title of it?
To study the transformation of writing resource from tactile to software.
What is tactile? What is software?
Well, tactile is the felt prototype we've got
The
here.
one we've seen,
Matt,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But we've seen the opportunities to put it into a software version, so
Yeah.
kids can use tablets.
Yeah. So this particular project that you've done is to actually, what's this?
Study the transformation.
Yeah. Okay. And you've looked at some of the goals and the constraints, etc.
Yes.
Good. Thank
It's
you.
really helped me
Yeah.
understand and put things on one page.
I'm a great believer in getting things down to one page business plans, one-page scopes. So that's the first hint. Do that first, okay? Secondly, second hint is plan it, using some simple, to start with anyway, visual planning tool. And the one I'm using is the Gantt chart, sometimes known as the bar chart. And on page 2A is an example of a bar chart for somebody developing a website for a customer. And in the workbook, we encourage you to break down a project into about 8 to 10 tasks. The tasks are down here. And then scope it out either on a monthly basis or a weekly basis or sometimes a daily basis when the thing needs to start and finish. Okay, so it is there. Definitely very simple. You can subsequently use software to do that, but I recommend doing it manually first of all, unless it's an incredibly difficult project. But most projects are not that complicated, to be honest. Now, I think you've done the same for this one you've scoped out. Can you just show the camera what it looks like? So, you've identified 9 tasks with various start dates and finish dates and various responsibilities on the right-hand side. Very
Yes, it's
simple.
made it very clear for me as well. In fact, it really opened up how long it would take.
You've got other projects coming up as well. This is the first one. What other projects have you got?
Well, the subsequent to this is really the feasibility study.
Yeah.
Once we've got this project complete, we need to plan for the second projects to bring that onto market.
Got the software version.
The software version, yes.
Yeah, hugely important. You get that right, it could be huge.
Global.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that. Okay, so second hint was scope it out using a bar chart or a Gantt chart. And then thirdly, the third hint is on page 5. Most of us, life is a series of projects. In fact, a business leader of an SME, small to medium-sized business, is constantly just doing projects with his team. And sometimes projects don't quite go according to plan. Well, to review it, ask what went well, what do we do differently next time? Bear in mind it'll be a different project. So, third hint is assess it. Okay? Can you just read the sort of ground rules for assessing successfully or effectively a project, David?
Assess this stage. This stage of a project is often omitted, but is vital, not just for the project itself, but also for learning about future projects. So, after about 3 months, reassemble the project team and assess were our goals met? What went well? What did we learn? What would we do differently on our next project?
And you can see the value of that in relation to this project you're on. Just to do that with your fellow directors and other people, because it'll probably be the same team doing the next one, and gradually getting better and better at doing projects.
Understand.
Okay, so to summarise, in terms of hints, I've written them down here, is scope your project using that one pager, plan it using a bar chart so you can see it and your team can see it, and then assess it. And those are the 3 hints, David, that will make a major difference to both yours and everybody else's projects.
Thank you, Christopher.
My pleasure. And may I wish you every success with those 2 very important projects that are coming up.
Thank you so much.